Okay,
Yes.
from anyone.
Okay, both players can start. I will ping them.
Oh, I can create the link.
Are you ready to start the timer?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will tell them
Yeah.
to start. Man, that resign and that like loss of a central city last game is still sticking with me. Oh, but let's go ahead and look at these new games. I see BK screen. It's I would say rather pool spawn for Zebasi, but same goes to Vorce. So this time both of them have only 2 farms, and he decides to go for an explorer instead of the workshop as of last time. Maybe he's thinking now that he has less farms, he's not gonna get a giant anyway, so he just wants to get control over the map. And Vorce also goes for the explorer. Immediately finds BK to get those resources, but it doesn't go anywhere else, so that's rough. He does know that BK moved his warrior away from the city in the corner. I guess he will try to get that fast. He should also know that BK also got an explorer. And I guess we will soon see a lot of fighting for villages with riders probably being recruited soon. I mean, it was already got a rider. And BK, is he gonna go for that eastern village? Gonna be greedy and try to just to grab it before Vorce can get there and just completely lock him off from the map? Or oh yeah, he's going for it. He's going for it. That's something I would have done too, I think. Let's see if Vorce notices, or if Vorce will just obliterate his warrior on the village and take all joy away from BK. Is he going to go northeast, or will he try to find a village in the southeast corner? That's the question that's probably Vorce is asking himself here too. You can see him hesitating where to put his rider. I guess northeast is probably the safest play. And he goes for the southeast corner. Maybe also looking for a ruin, not wanting to move on the animal instead. He's probably gonna be upset when he sees that warrior next turn on the village. He will definitely be upset about it. When he realizes that he could have killed the warrior this turn, he decided not to, and he finds a village here. So all in all, might be a bit frustrating here. The fact that he didn't move on the animal to find the village 1 turn earlier, the fact that he cannot kill the warrior of BK on the city, he also doesn't hit it, so he doesn't even try bluffing that he has a rider in the fog that could potentially finish it afterwards. I guess he just really wants to secure the ruin, which is perfectly reasonable. Bluffing is only useful when you have nothing to lose, and here Vorce definitely has a ruin to lose, so it's probably the smarter play to not hit here. And BK just goes for level 2, gets that economy going. Also decides to scout already the enemy's capital. I guess it makes sense because just logically speaking, in the fog to the north and northeast corner, there just can't be a village in there. So I would assume that BK thinks he has found all the villages in his side, and now he will just have to slowly take everything that Vorce loves and has away from him. And BK, is he gonna move step in that capital range? It might just be a sacrifice of a warrior. Is he gonna look for ruins also? That's also a big question. Are you gonna look for ruin? Are you gonna, let's say, miss out on that utility that your units bring you and just look for ruins, potentially finding nothing, but also potentially finding a game-winning advantage? Now, of course, I didn't switch to Vorce's stream quick enough, so I didn't notice what his ruin got him.
Oh, the explorer go in the wrong way.
Oh, he got an explorer and it went all the way
Yeah.
to the corner. That is Vorce again getting a completely useless ruin, just like last game.
It's a little bit hard.
He must be quite frustrated now. He must. Oh, thank Kura for texting it to me. He must be quite frustrated with his ruin RNG by now. I can already see him typing again. He's already complaining. I feel like Vorce has a tendency to complain about his game sometimes, where it's not like, not yet, at least not yet warranted. They're both on free cities. I'm not sure if there's a city in the east corner because I can't see it on BK. Oh, there is a city. Okay, so it's probably going to be 4 to 3 cities, maybe even 5 to 3 if there's another city between the ruin and the village for BK. And also defending when you have a thin strip of land that's so a very wide front is very hard. It's very hard to defend in such a situation. So I would assume that Vorce will very soon decide to go for his opponent's capital and just siege really quickly with a warrior, block a bit with riders, maybe do a roads play, and just take his opponent's capital away so that he just does not even get the chance to use his city advantage. I would assume that's Vorce's strategy, which would align with the fact that he's definitely pumping out and moving those units towards his west side, whereas BK spreads them out a bit more, which makes sense, I guess. He has a lot of stuff left to explore. He just shouldn't forget that he also has a capital that he needs to protect at all costs. No matter how much you are in the lead, if you lose the capital, the game is over. So I'm guessing his riders will hover in the background. Yeah, he's very careful and about exploring that northern corner, as long as he cannot keep his capital completely safe, and he shouldn't underestimate Vorce, that's for sure. I'm assuming Vorce will also start saving a bit soon. Either he will siege, he might siege just right away next turn and get some more riders, but he also might just decide to save for a turn and get roads for the next turn after, and just completely overwhelm his opponent with all his units all of a sudden being on top of his capital. A quick look at the timer also tells me that both players this game are relatively equal. Was still having a bit more than 11.5 minutes, while BK has a bit more than 11 minutes. So both players definitely not being short on time. And here Vorce goes for it. He decides to siege, but he has climbing. When did he just buy climbing? Very interesting. He bought climbing to step on the mountains and decides to siege BK's capital. I mean, from the spectator's perspective, of course, we know that BK will easily unsiege, gets organization from a ruin, which is not bad, at least. It's definitely not bad. It gives him a few level ups. On the other hand, those are probably level ups that he wants to achieve with roads, bringing him also better transportation of all his units. But I'm quite sure that despite his capital being sieged, BK is feeling relatively comfortable right now. Let's hope he doesn't miscalculate again and forgets that a rider can kill a 5 HP warrior. But he does it. I respect his guts for sure that he moved he hit the sieging warrior last, potentially risking a fatal misclick. But I guess that just shows what type of a player BK is, risking it all, trusting his fingers to click on the right square. And Vorce is probably feeling very slowly losing any motivation for this game. I mean, at least he's complaining. I guess last game he won, despite the odds being against him. But this game it's just really hard to find an attacking point because of all the mountains and the forests. So you need roads, you also need climbing. You also need a lot of riders. His cities are not higher than level 2 or any of them, so just getting that many units is hard because of the unit cap. It's just very hard for him to attack here, and as long as BK does not forget to cover his capital, I think he's just very safe. There's just very little that he could lose. Very few ways how he could lose. And yeah, he will just probably slowly take away all of Vorce's resources and yeah, just win the game that way. Just not risk anything, don't rush it. Probably knows that Vorce has very little giant potential. He just miscalculated, so maybe that was the crucial misplay here. He's zooming in and out probably to signal his frustration. He just had only 6 stars and tried leveling his city with a farm and a fruit, which obviously doesn't work. My cat in the background is trying to signal me that it needs food. I require sustenance, slave. That's probably what it would say if it could speak. But first we have to finish this game before I can feed my cats, so. Vorce playing it slow. I don't know if playing it slow is the right approach here. I mean, I guess he needs units in order to siege, but at the same time, any unit he gets, BK gets 1 point something units, like 1.3 or something. I'm being asked by a viewer whether I'm talking in English or German to my cat. I'm talking in German to my cat because I'm a German native speaker. But sometimes I also speak in English because, for example, the command sit or sitz are very similar. So depending on where I am with my head right now, I might just accidentally say it in English and the cat is not going to notice the difference. Okay. Here Vorce is probably trying a last-ditch effort to siege and steal his opponent's capital. Or is he? I think he's not. No, he just killed some units. Maybe he's going for the killer monument, and maybe he will try to achieve something that way. Maybe he will try to get a sneaky giant in that west city, because I think BK still has no vision on it. So if he surprisingly got a giant there and then immediately boosted it with roads, it might be fast enough to just blow him away. But unless there's just 2 fruits left in that village and the mines and or gold that you could put a mine on. So it would require a huge amount of stars to get a giant there. So I'm guessing any giants for Vorce this game are out of the question. Maybe knights are the only way he could still win this, but just with riders and warriors, it's going to be really, really tough. And BK gets roads. So with roads, his huge space advantage, his city advantage, there's just very little that Vorce can do about it. So I'm guessing the series will be tied. Luckily, because I also tied my series, so I wouldn't want anyone to be ahead of me just yet. I'm assuming it will happen, but it doesn't have to happen so quickly and so with so many players. So I'm happy if other players tie too. It gives me a better shot at ending up in first place. And let's see if BK will use his killer monument somewhere efficiently. I would assume that he would want the giant in his capital with it, considering that he has 1 fruit there that is free for the taking, and he just needs to connect his cities a bit with roads. Vorce decided to resign. He decided he's not gonna be choked any longer by this mean BK. And the series ends with a 1-1. Both players played quite well. So I feel like, I mean, I think Vorce played very well, despite the fact that he was chatting the entire time and complaining. I don't think he could have done anything different in order to win this. Maybe by very early, the earliest decisions are usually the most important. Maybe by putting his rider on that forest northeast of his capital instead, so that he could have been able to kill the warrior of BK on that village. That may have been the deciding decision that Force made, but even so, it would have been a very, very hard and tough game for Vorce. But he would have probably gotten that village and the ruin, so really interesting how these small decisions on turn 3, turn 4 can change the flow of the entire game.